everybody here that needs to be here between the police department and, yeah, usually I'm the picture taker. Are you going to take pictures? I'll interpret for you.
We have
All right, so let's, everybody, it looks like everybody's here that needs to be here for the swearing in, and I spy with my little eye someone over there. It just turned 100 today. Okay, so at that point, let's call to order the Village Board of Trustees meeting dated October 6th. It is about 6:03 because we have so many wonderful things going on. Franco, take the roll.
Trustee Guma?
Here.
Trustee Sauter?
here.
Trustee Saviano?
Here.
Trustee Kunze?
Present.
Trustee Mahoney?
Here.
Trustee Oakland?
Here.
And President Pearson is absent.
All right, and with that, let's join me in that Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, yes, I need a motion to, for President Pro Tem for the meeting.
Oh, yeah. I will move to make Kathleen Mahoney the temporary president for this meeting.
Second.
Okay. Trustee Guma?
Yes.
Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
Trustee Saviano?
Yes.
Trustee Kunze?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes,
And Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
okay. Now we get public comment. Is there any public comment from anyone for any item that's on or off the agenda? Seeing none, we will move on to the good stuff. Who is swearing in?
So,
Our new
Commissioner
sergeant.
Sykes is going to swear in
Awesome.
Sergeant Ribialek, and I had a few things to say
Okay.
about him before.
The floor is
Joe, if
yours.
you want to come up first? It's always a privilege to get to come before you all and celebrate the promotion of somebody who's really earned it within our department tonight. That's Joe. Real quick, Sergeant Ribialek began his career with the East Dundee Police Department in September of 2016, where he graduated from the Police Training Institute later that year. Since joining the department, he has served in a variety of specialized roles, including field training officer, evidence technician, and instructor for defensive tactics, use of force, and rapid deployment training. Sergeant Ribialek proudly represents the East Dundee Police Department as a member of the ILEAS Mobile Field Force and the Kane County Major Crimes Task Force. He previously served as a member of the police union and now serves as president of the Police Pension Board. He has been recognized as the department's Officer of the Year not once but twice, in 2018 and in 2020, and he's received numerous commendations throughout his career. In August of this year, Sergeant Ribialek became the first East Dundee police officer to complete the Tactical Police Officer Program, Patrol Officer Program, This program, through the Illinois Tactical Officers Association, provides advanced training and a core group of tactical skill sets designed to better prepare officers for unexpected, ongoing, violent criminal events and active threat situations. Sergeant Ribialek completed 6 separate training courses to earn this designation. In addition to completing the program, he is also certified to instruct fellow East Dundee officers in those same skills. So I'm going to have Commissioner Tice come up. Have you stand in front of me?
You just stand in the right spot or it doesn't work. I've been associated with the department for 45 years. And this has been probably the closest sergeant's competition we've had. We've had 3 great candidates. And Joe ended up number 1 this time. So, all my lead here. This is for the state of Illinois, County of Cook and Kane, Village of East Dundee. This is your official oath. Repeat after me. I, Joseph P. Ribialek.
I, Joseph P. Ribialek,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the ordinances of the Village of East Dundee,
and the ordinances of the Village of East Dundee,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Patrol Sergeant
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Patrol
Joe has a helper that's gonna come up and hand him with his new sergeant's badge.
Oh, is that cool? Oh, that's awesome.
Congratulations, well deserved.
Congrats.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. That's great. All right. With that done, we're good? Okay. Thank you. You guys enjoy your celebration tonight. Thank you.
That's what Andy said.
Like things. I put up with it for years. You got the cord. You got the nice.
It's pretty cool.
Every time I
You can put two things like that, right?
oh, Barry, I'm the one that
Appreciate you.
I think I'm
All right, Ms. Dolores. We have some hardware for you. Would you like to join me up here? So we're still all official and everything.
I just thought, no, I didn't. I'm supposed to come up here to sign something.
We have something signed for you. So, Dolores, I have a proclamation here from you. I'm going to read to it so everybody can hear the wonderful things that we have to say about you. All right? Proclamation and key to the village for Dolores Dordeline. In recognition of Dolores Dordeline on her occasion of her 100th birthday, and whereas on October 6, 1925, Dolores Dordeline was born in Coutts, is that how you say it? Coutts, Indiana, and whereas she's been a dear resident of East Dundee since the early 1950s, and whereas she has 5 children, 9 grandchildren, and 12 great-grandchildren. Do we have that right?
It depends on how you count them.
Okay. Whereas she and her late husband, Fred Dordeline, became business owners in 1964, and owning and operating the Fred Dordeline Lumber Company in downtown East Dundee. And whereas she served as a teacher in the Community School District 300 and served as a state representative from 1987 to 1993. And whereas in the 1980s, the Dordeline family was instrumental in the construction of the Depot Visitor Center at 319 North River Street. And whereas East Dundee is inspired by her love of the village and her numerous contributions to the community, and offers her sincere best wishes for continued good health, happiness, and overflowing abundance of love and joy. So, therefore, let it be proclaimed that October 6th, today, 2025, be designated as Dolores Dordeline Day.
Oh, that's cool.
And here you go. There's that. And then we also have this little piece of hardware. It's heavy. So here's your key to the city, or the village. And
Have you done this before?
nobody's turned it on. Exactly. This is a once-in-a-century occurrence. So I hope you enjoy it. And we love having you being a part of the community.
All I asked for was a coat, an I think you need an ambassador. People that walk around and knock on the windows of the stores and say, hello, I'm out here. We need greeters.
Okay. All right. We'll work on that. We'll definitely work on that. And anybody else want to say or add anything to Dolores today?
Neighbor.
Neighbor?
Friends.
Yes.
Happy
All right.
birthday.
That's awesome.
All right.
Happy birthday.
So happy birthday, Dolores.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for all you've done.
This is my hometown.
Yes,
That's wonderful.
yes, it is. And I know you had a big party yesterday, but we do have some cupcakes over here for you. So we're going to take a little 10-minute recess so everybody can wish Dolores.
Can we get a picture of the,
Yes.
with holding the key together?
Mm.
There you go.
This one. One more.
All right.
Thank
Here you
you.
go.
I know.
I have a
all of
box
you.
for you.
Huh?
I have a box we can put this in so it doesn't get scratched. Okay. All right, so we'll adjourn for like 10 minutes and restart the meeting at
Do we need a motion to adjourn?
6:22.
The board's in agreement.
6:22, we'll re-adjourn.
Sounds good. All right, so we'll turn
It's
off
not
the
every
audio
time
and
somebody
lights
turns
right
on
now.
order.
All right. Somebody's got a cupcake.
Calling the meeting back to order, it is 6:22.
My dinner.
And we can move on to the consent agenda.
Okay. I'm gonna
Need-
pull off, the item, E, but also item C. C and E. Somebody else want anything pulled off?
Anybody else need to pull anything off?
Okay.
Okay.
I will move to approve a village board meeting minutes dated September 15th, 2025. I will also move to accept the warrants list in the amount of $2,882,384.59. I'll move to approve an ordinance adopting an annual fee schedule and amending section 37.01, 11.07, and 110.15 of the village code. And I will move to approve a resolution rejecting all bids for the procurement of a contract for waste hauling services.
Second.
Discussion on anything on the consent agenda? Concerns?
No.
The fees schedule was in regards to business license, a change in the business license
Yeah.
fees, just for transparency, because it's hard to, I don't think anybody knows. Yeah.
Trustee Guma?
Yes.
Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
Trustee Saviano?
Yes.
Trustee Kunzi?
Yes.
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Pro Tem Mahoney?
Yes. All right. Do we have a motion for item C that was on the consent agenda?
Yeah, I will move to approve an ordinance granting a special use permit for a banquet hall for the property located at 450 Dundee Avenue.
I can second that.
Great. Discussion?
So the only thing I was questioning was or I guess planning and zoning recommended that we cut off music an hour before they close during a banquet. And to me, that, I don't understand why we would say that. Because if they're gonna be open till midnight and they're having a party, they're gonna wanna play music till midnight, I would imagine. And we have a lot baked in here. If there's a noise problems, we have a lot baked in here to protect us from that. So if the concern is they're gonna make too much noise after 11 PM, I think we have the means to address that. I can understand cutting off alcohol at 11 o'clock, but I feel like music, they should be able to set their own end time based on when they wanna close, for that, personally.
I agree.
I agree.
Since we have a representative from planning and zoning here, any thoughts or anything you want to share, or no concerns?
We also have the applicant here.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the
You
primary,
do need to
Oh, that
Yeah,
microphone.
pull that
bit.
mic. towards
Sorry.
you.
Yeah, and
Who's
this is
rearranging furniture?
Cameron Bruner, the chair of the Planning and Zoning Commission. So the primary thought process was also with the traffic that's going to be generated by this place. We were looking at ways to kind of spread out the dispersion of the parties at the end of the event. So as opposed to everybody like being there all the way at midnight and everyone coming out at midnight, given the proximity to the Riverhaven property, we didn't want a big congregation out in the parking lot after the event was closed. So this was with the alcohol and with the music, this kind of hopefully a trickle out type of effect as opposed to everyone running out at once. That's the justification behind the recommendation. You guys obviously can agree or disagree with that.
Fair enough.
Any other questions? One?
No, I agree with you on the liquor. I mean, that's kind of a signal that things are gonna start to ramp up.
So the ordinance can be passed if you want to amend, by motion to amend the ordinance striking the time limit on the music, which I think is condition 7.
Yes.
I agree with trustee Coonsey. I mean, I think if they're gonna have a party and have people there till midnight, they're gonna want music till midnight. I would say no outdoor speakers. If that's something that ever got brought up, keep all the sound inside, indoors.
That's condition number 3 is all entertainment and banquet related events and rentals must be confined to the interior of the property.
Perfect.
Okay.
And I'm a fan of like a wider net at first, and then if things become an issue, revisiting it at another time, but.
Yeah, there is a 1 year.
Because that makes
routine.
sense what you're
Yeah,
saying, and if that happens, then I'd want to revisit.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a large venue in a place that doesn't have such a thing. That's, folks, like, I live on a street with a bar. I know what can happen when
Yeah.
things come out. It's a new experience.
There was a banquet hall
Yeah.
there
There was.
previously. Was
So,
it not? Did they ever open? I know we gave them a permit.
They were there and then they closed.
Okay.
yeah, and then the other thing to consider, I think, Franco, we talked a little bit about how, so they don't have to do a live music application like our bars do because it's a banquet hall. So you can look at how their times relate to other times when we grant live music at a bar. And this 12 p.m. blanket is actually, I think, more permissive than some of the other things that we do at bars. So maybe consider that. I don't know, Franco, you want to add some piece there?
Okay.
Yeah, what's our normal shutdown time for, it would be indoor music, but 11. And the way the live entertainment's drafted is that they could ask the village administrator for permission to end at midnight once or twice per month with permission from the village administrator. Because the noise ordinance goes to 11.
But that's for outdoor music, correct?
No, it could be indoors as well, the live entertainment.
It's for live music.
Live entertainment.
Yes, which would include DJs, for example,
Yeah.
which I would imagine.
DJs are included.
Yes, in live
Okay.
music. Yes, it's live performance, and that's
It's been a while.
person. Yes.
Yeah.
So things to consider.
Yeah.
Like you said, there is one of the trustees said there's a 12-month review. After that, you could revisit it then if you wish.
Yeah. Okay. I will amend my motion to strike just use-related music. Special use related I'm sorry.
Strike music and.
I'm gonna strike music from that sentence.
You need to strike the
Music
words.
and.
Music and, yes.
Yes.
From condition 7
Number
of the.
From
ordinance.
condition 7 on the list of conditions put forth by this planning and zoning.
Is there a second?
And
Second.
whoever-
Who was this?
I don't know who second.
There's a second.
Okay. Trustee Guma,
Yes.
Trustee Sauter,
Yes.
Trustee Saviano,
Yes.
Trustee Coonsey,
Yes.
Trustee Oakland,
Yes.
Pro Tem Mahoney.
Yes.
All right, and was that motion to adopt the ordinance as amended then? Was that your motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, if it was
Thank you.
amended, was it supposed to be the person that seconded it first time doing an amended second? No? I'm just checking.
We're good.
Okay.
Okay. Then, moving on to item E. Scott, I know you had,
Yeah, so we will move to approve an ordinance amending Title 7 of the Village Code regarding parking regulations.
can I second? I can second.
Sorry.
Yeah. Second, if we need it.
You got a second.
Pro
So the plan here is to talk about this, and then instead of voting, I'll make a motion to table this postpone this until the next meeting, so we could talk about the streets that aren't going to be part of this discussion, which is only going to be related to the downtown and the flats. We'll talk about the rest of the village at the next meeting. And then we'll vote at the end of that meeting, or that time, for all of the streets.
Okay.
Okay.
Additionally, I'd like to, between now and the next meeting, if you guys can take a look at the map that Scott prepared to make sure that it aligns with the grid of instructions,
Yeah.
and make sure that that is
That's a
also
good idea.
included in with the ordinance, either packet, or if it can't be part of the ordinance that gets published, just as a tool that documents what the grid states.
Yeah, we'll make sure to have corresponding maps for the
Okay.
next meeting.
Cool.
Anything else from anybody?
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with all of these, I believe. I don't have a problem with any. The only thing is, I guess I would say, is there was at one time discussion about measuring these roads in order to justify shutting down one side parking or other side parking, and did we ever do that?
Hines and Associates, already was
Yes.
Hines and Associates provided us 2 or 3 years back when we looked at the no parking on one side of the street during the snow season.
Yeah.
Joe's firm had provided us with some road width measurements at that point in time, but during the course of this project, that information didn't contribute to some of the decision making. I mean, we may have talked about a street or two, but comprehensively, we did not look at street width versus some of the parking regulations that are being proposed here.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a similar concern just because we have done this before. Like, we did shut down half the street in a lot of areas in the village, put up signs. We got a lot of feedback that people were very upset. And then we took it down, so to just put it back up again, I feel like having some rationale would be helpful to say the state standard is less than 30 feet, you can only park on one side, your street is less, so it needs to be something objective to point out why, as opposed to, we just thought it'd be a good thing to try again. We know we tried it, but we just thought we'd try it again. So I think anything objective we can point out would help it to be more concrete, and I don't want to get in a situation where we put up signs. I think they were up long enough that people stopped parking there at first, and then they saw that it wasn't being enforced, so then they decided to just park where the no parking was. So I don't want to train people to ignore whatever signs we put up, but make it for real if we do it, and I think the numbers would help on. I don't know if 30 is just me doing a Google search is, 30 or 30 to 36. It could be both sides depending on emergency traffic, but some sort of standards that we could point out and then blanket that in this similar way.
I think part of the problem with those temporary signs was that people were confused by them. And I think if we just say no parking on this side of the street, period, without all the conditions to go with it, that people would be less
Confused.
Yeah.
confused and upset, maybe. I don't
And one thing, if I may add, measurements, in our conversations, I met with the fire district, public works, and the police department, and the roads listed in the memo, the ones that are one way or no parking on one side of the streets, those were all streets identified within those departments talking. Those were requests by one of those departments to be one way, to allow for emergency vehicles, et cetera, public works vehicles to get through.
Okay.
So measurements were considered, although not specifically by the numbers. We didn't go out and measure, but those were the streets that we found to be more narrow than others that would cause issues with snow and public, like village hall vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, even that, whatever objective data of, you know, there are concerns from those departments, that would be a good thing to point out as we pass it, just to make sure that's
Sure.
also clear.
Caleb, is this the map that's trustee Coonsey made?
This one, yes, sir.
Is there a map that shows our current parking guidelines, or we could put these side by side and take a look at them?
Yes, we do have our GIS public parking hub that's on our website. I can pull that up now.
This map's a lot easier to read than the grid.
Okay. I can get that for our next meeting. I can make sure to pull that.
Okay.
The other thing I'd like to bring up is North Van Buren Street. No parking on North Van Buren Street, north of Barrington Avenue. I think, what do we have now?
North of Barrington?
North of Barrington. Is there not parking available now on North Van Buren, north of Barrington now?
It is my understanding through the meetings that there is no parking, but we can investigate that further.
I think it's at
I-
the monument signs,
What's that?
where the monument signs are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
North of there, there's no parking.
So I can tell you for a fact.
north of the gate thing
Mhm.
is no parking?
I believe so.
I believe it's south of the gates between Barrington and the gates. I believe
So when we come down for the events, I can tell you for a fact that there's cars parked up on the west side, north of the monument, going past, what is that, Roslyn? Is that Roslyn? Almost to the bus parking lot on the west side of the street only. So it is, if it's allowed only during special events, temporary signs that go up on this side only or something like that. But even with the parking lot, that doesn't accommodate all of the cars that are coming.
Well, we can investigate that further, and just so everyone's aware, for the next steps, if this were to be passed at a future meeting, I would work with Public Works to go out, use the updated code, and make sure our signage and everything is up to
Compliant,
date. So that
yeah.
would be the next step.
I guess I just wonder if, given that, when we had our meeting about Water Street,
Mhm.
a lot of people from North Van Buren showed up and said that they felt like their street was already a drag strip and people were zooming up and down there. And parking on the side of the road is a traffic calming measure. Now, I don't know what the width of that street is, if it's maybe not smart to have parking on one side there, but it's pretty narrow.
Pretty near, but it's a collector street too, so.
Yeah.
Reduce it to one lane.
And it appears the code is silent. It doesn't mention any parking restrictions for in here in town.
Yeah. But I think that, it is a collector street, but I think that, we have this condition in East Dundee where we are cut through for a lot of different communities that use our little neighborhoods as cut-throughs, and we don't always like that. Now, I'm sure the people that live in these neighborhoods like to use those cut-throughs, but, it's just something we have to think about, because a lot of the people speeding on these roads, Water Street, Van Buren, north and south to Elgin, come from these cut-throughs that people are avoiding Route 25 or Route 31 to get around. And, our option as a village is not, we can't forbid people from using those cut-throughs because they're public roads, but we can dress those roads with certain things that make them less appealing to use.
Mhm.
So that's just something that we should, I think about. That's all I'll say.
I'll reach out to corresponding departments and we'll talk specifically about that section of North Van Buren.
And then to answer Trustee Guma's question, it looks like on the main map, we don't highlight parking on one side only. Is that part of the GIS map so far? Or is that all new, all the yellow areas are new rules and don't have it?
I don't, yeah, so now I understand. So we don't have a one-way parking part of the map on the GIS, but we can work with our consultant to add that, but that's not currently a label.
Gotcha.
We could make that a layer of the GIS,
Yeah.
the one-sided.
Yeah, I do see different colors on either side. So there is a no parking
Yeah.
that could be on one side once we add it. It seems like that's already in the mix that we could use.
Yeah, we can talk to Baxter a little bit about that.
And then for this area, we're talking about, we'll go into details on the next meeting, is that correct?
So on the next meeting, we'll talk about the stuff that's by Hager and out by Route 25. There were a couple items, and I think there's one street or two streets in the terrace as well. So we'll talk about all those in the next meeting.
But trying to pass these right now.
We're not going to pass these now.
Oh, okay.
We're going to pass them all at once, but if you have thoughts on these, now would be the time, I guess. to
Because
bring it.
on Michigan, it does seem like we did say in here to shut off the north side of Michigan, but that's the Rosie side, and there is kind of a bump out for parking on that side. So I feel like the south side of Michigan might
Okay.
make more sense.
You also look at the side of the road that you have fewer driveways, fewer access
Okay.
points,
Mhm.
where you have longer stretches of parking opportunities
Yeah.
compared to the other side of the street, so that's something we take into consideration.
More spaces.
Then one thing to note, just because the memo didn't reflect the change of Williams Place, I know that's not on this current map, but that
Correct.
would be a change
Yeah.
for the next meeting.
Yes. Also, I guess there were the items that were general, village-wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one about the horse, I'm glad we kept that in there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want horses running around.
Well, no, there actually was some logic to that, but I'm thinking
Was
if
there?
we had a couple conversations about it, if like on a parade, or if we ever had, horses in town for a reason, like a parade or something like that, we thought it would be best to leave it in there.
Yeah,
There
I'm
you
not
go.
objecting.
Or rain.
I'd like to invite the horses.
Reindeer.
sometime.
There's horses at Dickens a couple years ago.
Yeah,
that's
Let's
just
try.
for those
Come
guys.
on.
To Trustee Kunze's point on kind of the larger umbrella items, again, to reiterate, the goal with this new ordinance was, when the work group was looking at the code, we noticed a lot of segments that were missing, a lot of inconsistencies, typos, text, different language used on different rows. So we thought it was pretty important to make that consistent and uniform. And then also, with working with Elrod Freeman, we noticed that our, the other aspect of this, not the table, but the ordinance that amends other sections, that there was language currently in there that, we wanted to improve and change the text in that. So that was also a part of this. So we're really wanting to update the entire code of the parking code and of those sections.
Struck it from one part of the code and put it in the table, because if you looked at the old language, there were sections that weren't applicable to our new code.
Correct.
So now when you put it in the table, the police officer's citations actually match the code.
That's nice.
I guess one thing I'd like to talk about is it shall be unlawful to park any motor vehicle upon any grass, lawn, or dirt on properties. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because we don't let people park overnight in the street. and sometimes you have too many cars to put in your driveway overnight. I'm just wondering if we wanna just say something like,
For more than 24
for more
hours.
than 12 hours or something. You know, if people, like, would we give a person a ticket if they parked their car overnight on their grass, if their driveway was full?
Well, they had the ability to call in too.
Yeah, neighbors have called in
What's
to,
that?
to complain about other neighbors
Yeah.
that are parking on their grass.
Well, I don't mean like every night, but I guess I just mean like if you have a big party and
Yeah,
a lot of cars,
yeah.
you need to do it one night. I don't know. Okay, never mind.
Scott, I agree with
But-
you.
I'm with Scott on it actually too, so.
Yeah.
I am
I'm
too,
there.
because
Yeah.
honestly,
Okay.
when I have a party at my house, nobody's parking on Dundee. They're parking in my driveway and they're parking on the grass.
Yeah, you have to.
So
because
people can get in
Better
and
we
out
stay on the
People
night
park
than
on the
driving.
street.
on my property.
You know,
So,
just change it to
But
more
it's
than
for-
24
it's
hours.
for- Do we need, like, do you
we
need
don't
to
want
have
people
a?
storing their cars on the grass.
No.
Just change it to
No.
no more than 24 hours,
There
and I
you
think
go.
we'll be good.
I agree.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Do you guys see any issue with that wording?
I'd have to think about it, I don't think
Okay.
so, but.
Because I the 2 to 6, great and all, but a party like that, and then being like, did you call it? Like, it's,
Yeah.
it's just,
No
I
one's
think,
gonna do it.
just for those special situations, like, not realistic.
Mark did have a good point and question about if that would cover commercial property, commercial lots as well.
I think we could
Well, it
probably
doesn't
stick to
need to.
residential.
Is there a way
Residential.
to, is there a way to designate not including?
We can look into language. I'll work with Elred Freeman and we'll
Yeah,
consult about the
we
best
wouldn't
way to
need
do
to.
that. But I think I understand the direction being, we would like to amend that row to allow parking on grass in someone's yard 24
Temporarily.
hours temporarily. Yeah.
Does that work?
Okay.
And you get, there's a big problem, 25 versus Battle and Wall and used car lots on the park on the front of
Yeah.
the right of way, and he's trying to keep that.
Got it.
Understood, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
So, yeah, residential.
definitely residential only.
I like it.
And
This
then-
is a beast.
Yes,
This
it
is a
is.
beast of a project, you guys, so.
We're
Yeah,
getting
you
there.
guys did a lot of work on this, clearly.
Yeah.
Did you have any questions on your other map or?
No, I think it made sense. I mean, do we advertise that at all? I didn't know until we talked about at the last meeting that there were areas in town that you could park overnight, to be honest with you.
We have some signage up and I know there's people can call the PD and on our website, there's like a tab where you can actually report overnight parking. And so
Yeah.
there are methods, but we could add a few newsletter articles, do a campaign.
Yeah.
I will note just a very small detail, but I believe this lot here, I believe that was supposed to be by the Jackson lot, by the parking garage.
Oh, okay. It
Just,
just got moved.
yeah, just so everyone's aware, because that, I think,
Oh,
Or is-
that lot,
I thought it was that little AT&T.
The AT&T lot.
so we don't currently own that, so that I don't believe is,
So
in the
what is
table.
the Jackson lot?
that is the surface level lot. So that is the lot
Oh,
that
I
is
see,
connected to the
I
parking
see,
garage.
I see, yeah, okay. I got you. My bad.
No worries at all.
I see a lot of overnight parking in that AT&T lot. Just for the record.
All right.
But we don't own it. It's-
So if something else comes up in between now and the next meeting,
Yeah.
whatever, just
So,
start socializing it so we can hopefully put this to bed
yeah,
Yeah.
at the next meeting.
and I'll make a map of the other locations as well.
Yeah, please let me know if there's anything we can do to help on that. I can, yeah.
But I will move to postpone this until the next meeting,
October 20th.
which will be October 20th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, trustee Guma,
Yes.
trustee Sauter,
Yes.
trustee Saviano,
Yes.
trustee Kunzi, Yes. Trustee Oakland
Yes.
and Pro Tem Mahoney.
Yes. Alrighty then. Moving on to other agenda items. Item A, I'm looking for a motion. Do you want to do this, Tricia?
Yeah, I'll move to approve a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Village of West Dundee to install and maintain public art sculptures along the Fox River.
A second. Discussion? Any background?
I mean, this is awesome, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's cool.
Let's,
The only question I had, I think it's awesome. Are the deer going in the middle?
Yeah.
All right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, deer in the middle, birds on either side,
Yeah.
the cranes.
Cool.
We have Deb Chabi, who advised against using things like birds of prey like eagles or foxes that would scare away eagles. There's certain animals that we avoided in order not to scare away everyone's favorite animals that are real.
That's a really good idea because they use the coyotes to keep away geese
Yeah.
and
Which is
stuff.
the benefit
So,
of having
good
an
call.
environmental science teacher on the Arts Council as well.
That is
So-
awesome.
She has her PhD, so we trust her on this.
Yeah.
and I think it's an awesome thing for you guys. This has been a lot of hoops for you guys to get over too, between all of the permissions that the staff has worked through with the IDNR and all of the other people. And our most formidable West Dundee, and actually creating a joint project with them is a wonderful thing, and hopefully something that is a harbinger of other great things to come in partnerships.
And then you guys are also able to get them done much lower than the original budget too, which I noticed, which
Yeah,
is
less
pretty
than
cool.
half of what we were looking at to do custom, like the, was it bronze ones where you need a cast and you'd have to, it was at least double the price, and smaller, and we wanted the larger scale, because they're pretty big platforms, so we
Yeah.
felt like it's pretty tiny, and it costs twice as much, so we found a source where we could find something that was the right scale at a much lower price, and felt like that's a good starting point.
But they're still bronze, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
but it's
That's like
the
a
difference
stock form.
between, yeah, they've made these animals before, and
Yeah.
they're not unique like one of a kinds. That's what we were paying extra for, is make this animal just for us and
Right. Very
exist
cool.
nowhere
Very
else.
cool.
So
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Any other questions, or can we call the question? Any other comments?
No.
Okay. Thank you, sorry.
Trustee Guma,
Yes.
Trustee Sauter,
yes,
Trustee Saviano,
Yes.
Trustee Kunzig,
Yes.
Trustee Oakland,
Yes.
and Pro Tem Mahoney.
Yes. All right, Brandis, you're on. Are we talking budget? It was fun when it was last time. Thank you.
So, thank you all for allowing us to come before you today to present our capital and new initiatives for the 2026 budget year. Last time we talked about operations, and this time we're talking about large-scale projects and new items to the budget. I'm going to mostly look down because I'm a little blind. In this discussion, we'll do a brief overview of the budget for specific funds. We'll talk about our strategic priority areas, and then some of the funding areas that we'll be inserting some of the new initiatives and capital items. So for our budget overview, as usual, we do our best to ensure that our TIF and BDD obligations are funded, and those are primarily our redevelopment agreements that we currently have in place. We will discuss at a later date transfers between funds to ensure that those things are balanced out. We'll discuss a little bit our debt payments as we go through some of the funds. And then I wanted to point out that for fiscal year 2025, we are projecting about a $9.7 million fund balance or cash balance within certain funds. Collectively, Our projected revenues for 2026 is 13.1 million. Our expected expenses are 18.1 million. So we're presenting a lot of budget projects. Don't worry. We are mostly using our fund reserves to kind of cover and offset some of those projects because she looked horrified.
I know.
Right now, we are presenting about 8.4 million in new initiatives and capital projects, and we have almost 2.2 million in unfunded projects that we'll also go over just in case that's some things that you guys are looking to incorporate. And as usual, we do include a $50,000 contingency in our water sewer fund. Again, this presentation will only reflect those funds that do have associated projects or new initiatives within them. In your budget packet, there is essentially the same presentation, but it includes all of our funds, whether there are new initiatives or capital projects associated with those funds. So again, we do have projected for 2026, 13.1 million in total revenues, and that primarily is made up of our water sewer fund, about 55% between our water sewer fund and our TIF funds. Our TIF funds are generally where our incremental property taxes are allocated to, and then our water sewer fund is made up of user fees for our water and sewer collections. We have, again, about 18.1 million in expected expenditures for next year, and that is primarily made from our water sewer fund, which is 56%. Our debt service is 1%, and our TIF funds housed about 31% of those expected expenses for next year. As we budget, we try to make sure that we are budgeting items that are aligned with our strategic priority areas. We did adopt a new strategic plan in April of 2025, and that those strategic priority areas are broken down into 3 categories. Those are connectivity, recreation, and beautification. The second is organizational and infrastructure growth and advancement. And the third area is downtown economic development and redevelopment. So all of our project goals that were listed in your packet for new initiatives are identified by one of those 3 areas. And then here is a breakdown of our short-term and long-term strategic goals that fall within one of those 3 priority areas. Any questions so far? No. Okay. So now I'll get into some of the funds that we are budgeting projects in. The first is our new fund that we are proposing for 2026, and that is the municipal parking garage. We'd like to separate out any expenses related to the parking garage into its own fund so that it doesn't impact the general fund. And we are anticipating the sale of the units within the parking garage this year and receiving $470,000 for that sale. And we'll be using that to move forward with any expenses for the next year.
Brandis?
Yes.
Is it just $11,000 for that what we're seeing there, that system, tracking who's parking in the garage?
That's, Caleb can speak to that, but that
Okay.
is what was
That's
presented
awesome.
to me, yes.
I thought it'd be much more, so.
I don't know that it'll look like that, but it just. Yes.
That's the idea.
Yeah. much less
So
than
the total
anticipated.
expenses for the parking garage is about $113,000. Of that, we do have one projected new initiative, and that is for the parking garage sensors and electronic sign, and that is $11,000.
What is the other $100,000?
HOA fees primarily, and any other related expenses, maintenance, things like that, that we may have to pay for, especially our insurance for the year.
Wouldn't,
Yeah, insurance.
maintenance, wouldn't that come out of the HOA fund?
Yes, but if there's like things that we need to specifically purchase on the village side, so not like general upkeep, but just in case there are other expenditures related to the parking garage.
Also, snow removal is part of it.
How
Would
much
it
is
be-
the insurance?
10,000?
Yeah.
So there's another 103,000 in miscellaneous expenses?
Mhm.
Sounds high.
Well,
It's
you
our
also
first-
have cameras
Yeah.
and you have
Signage
signage, just,
that we plan on installing, like the LED signs off of the Hill Street. As part of it, the elevator. So this is our first year ever
so yeah, we're
operating
just
this.
kind of
So it's
projecting
kind
out.
of playing it safe because we don't want any interruptions to the garage this year.
Wouldn't snow removal just be part of our regular public works?
No, it's a specialized blade, it's a specialized salt. It's gonna be part of the HOA management company agreement to have them handle that.
Okay.
There-
And to haul
other
away the
questions?
snow, you can't store it on the garage or the architects and engineers, so we'd have to pay to haul away the snow.
There are no unfunded or unbudgeted new initiatives associated with the fund. And next, we'll go into our streets fund. For the end of '25, we're projecting for $43,662,000 as a cash balance that will carry over into the next year. We are anticipating $57,000 for revenue. As stated in the budget packet, we do receive property tax money into our streets fund, and that is not anything that we levy for. It's a redistribution from Dundee Township to the village for a portion of our roads. So we use that specifically for any streets upkeep. It's not a lot of money, so we do just kind of earmark for things, and when we can, we do kind of save and hope to do a major project, but mostly it's like crack seal coating, things like that. For '26, we do have budgeted $93,000. Of that, $37,000 is for sweeper repairs for our street sweeper. Any questions? Okay. There are no unbudgeted new initiatives for that fund. Next, we'll get into our MFT fund. For '25, projected ending cash balance, we have $646,873,000. And we are anticipating for revenues, $164,483. And that revenue is given to us by the state from their motor fuel tax collection. It is redistributed back to us. And that is based on a per capita basis, and it changes every year.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I'll let you get to because you're going to read through the lines.
Okay.
Sorry.
For expenditures, we have $779,000, and of that, $724,500 is allocated to new initiatives and capital projects. And this is more of a continuation from this year of things that we didn't get to, like the Barrington Avenue resurfacing project for $164,500. And we were just awarded a grant to cover the construction. So we'll be responsible for about $40,000 of that next year. I'm not quite sure if we'll leave it in the MFT. We may remove it and put it into a different bucket and fund another project out of the MFT. Not quite sure just yet, but for now, that's where we have it. And then we have a streets project, and that may change as well. I don't know, Phil can speak more to this if you guys have questions, but so far, we are budgeting for the reconstruction of 2nd Street, Adams Street, Railroad, and 4th Street.
The $117,000 grant, was that applied for then by the village, or was it
Yes.
just something from the state?
Yes, it's a STP grant.
Awesome. So I appreciate you guys applying for that stuff. It's a huge help.
Mhm.
And I'm sure the people that live on Barrington appreciate it too. So.
Yes. Did you want to add something?
Well, as I said, so the Barrington Avenue project will be funded in part by STP funds, Federal Surface Transportation Program funds, and then the balance of construction, our portion will be covered by the IDOT grant. That was, we were just notified last week that we're successfully pursuing that.
So that was from Illinois?
That's through IDOT.
Wonderful.
So it's essentially a
Free project.
construction side of things, it's essentially a free project.
That's awesome.
So it's a $470,000 project that
Yeah,
we just have to pay for some engineering.
wonderful.
So, I thought, and maybe I was wrong, but I thought we had planned on doing this Barrington Avenue resurfacing and the reconstruction of Second Street on last year's street plan.
This year.
All of the initiatives that we're proposing for next year were supposed to
Happen
happen
this year.
this year.
Phil,
Yes.
can you join Brandis at the podium? And maybe you just stay up there for this portion, so because there's lots of
Phil,
questions.
all of the projects are basically for us. So he-
No, you're doing great. So all of the initiatives listed on the slide were programmed for 2025. Barrington Avenue, Joe may offer probably a better summary of why that one was bumped to 2026. Joe, do you have a trip?
Let's- Everybody.
That particular one-
Bye, Brandis.
Yeah, both of these Joe can comment on
Is,
both.
is there a new microphone in the budget?
So the good news with Barrington Avenue is it's STP fund available, so it's 75 STP federal funding, 25 village. But to get that funding, you have to go through phase one and what's called phase one and phase two. And IDOT is in control of that schedule, and things are just taking longer at IDOT. And if you want me also to talk about the street program, same thing happened. Generally, our annual program is a general maintenance program, which means we prepare the plans and specs, send them in IDOT. They do a cursory review to notify us that it qualifies for MFT, give us the go-ahead. We let it locally, and it's on our schedule. This time, we submitted those plans, and it was a little more intensive with reconstruction items, and they said, hold up, you gotta follow the resurfacing process, so that's why this is getting pushed.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't wanna sound like I'm disappointed, but are we just losing a year of our streets program, basically?
I'm disappointed too.
No, but
But I
Luckily,
guess-
we've got the small summit project going on now, so at least we're doing
Okay.
something.
So understanding that some of these, because of the lead line replacement and other things, there's like bigger street projects than we have taken in the past 10 years. Now that we know that it's a longer approval process than it might have been in the past, can we work with pushing our calendar up further so that we can make sure that we can get it to the state, they can approve it, so that we can start to get back on track, I guess is.
Yeah, and it really wouldn't have been a problem this year, because we got started early in the year, but there was this delay with 4th Street with getting all the property owners to agree on what they wanted on the 4th Street improvements.
We did do Fourth Street, so we didn't lose the whole area.
So we lost some time there.
Okay.
And on Barrington Street, is this being, like considering that new intersection at the top for pedestrians? I know we were looking at on Barrington doing like a bike path possibly, or a bike lane. Would that maybe make more sense on the side of the road that has that crossover? I'm just wondering if that's part of this road project.
So the Barrington Avenue is just a resurfacing. If we wanted to do any widening, we'd have to go through the reconstruction, which probably puts you 2 years out.
Gotcha. So no on the bike lane. Gotcha.
And we would also definitely risk losing the several STP funds for the federal funds for
Right.
the Barrington project. And the 68 crosswalk, that is a separate project from the
Yeah.
street improvement project that's listed here.
Okay.
Lots of
Yeah.
projects.
Magic tricks.
All right.
So those are all of the projects for 26 that we're proposing, and we don't have any unbudgeted new initiatives for 26 for the MFT fund. Okay, capital projects is where everything pretty much is, so Phil, you might as well be prepared. All right, so for 25, we do anticipate right now a negative fund balance of $134,957. This fund is primarily, we transfer money in to cover and offset, so we haven't quite figured out how much to transfer from other funds to cover all of our projects that are going on currently, so don't be alarmed. For 26 revenue, we do anticipate $740,000 of revenues and 2.25 million or 2.26 million for expenditures for 26. Of that, 1.5 are new initiatives. So we have them broken into categories, and we'll start with our equipment and vehicles. Our first is our public works vehicles. We would like to enter into a similar lease agreement with our public works vehicles that we are in with our police vehicles. And we would start with the ordering of 3 new vehicles, two F-250s, lightweight duty pickup trucks, and then 1 Ford F-550, a medium duty dump truck. And that total is probably less than what we would pay for one of those.
Yeah, 50,000 for a dump truck is usually the same. Like,
Yeah.
Through the lease program.
yeah.
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 Per year.
No, this is the initial cost because we have to pay a little upfront for outfitting, and then the subsequent years will be less for a 5-year lease.
We currently own all the public works equipment.
Yes.
So where the police department vehicles all went over to Enterprise and there was a whole deal worked out with that on existing inventory that we had, this is gonna be slightly different.
It'll be
where-
the same.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm. So we do pay in advance, like for instance, when we order new police vehicles, whatever outfitting, so light, striping, equipment, we'll pay 50% of that cost upfront, and then the rest is kind of broken out into the 5-year lease.
Okay.
So we'll pay overtime. So this amount for next year will decrease, and I think your packets have a breakdown of
Mhm.
each vehicle going forward, what that cost will look like.
Are we better off buying the equipment?
I think for how long we keep our public works vehicles, I think it will be a longer term cost savings for us, because we keep our vehicles for 7 to 10 years, and versus our police vehicles, we rotate those out a little quicker. And then you do get the advantage of having a larger organization kind of go out to bid for the cost of the vehicle versus us going out on our own. And we can have someone from the lease program coming
How long is the lease on these?
5 years.
So we're gonna pay almost 300,000 or 220,000 for the dump truck? Roughly.
I don't have the cost in front of me of how much it is annually, but it wouldn't be this amount, Sean.
This is the biggest amount because it's the first year and includes the outfitting, but the
Yes.
subsequent years are going to be cheap, much
Reduced.
cheaper.
Yes.
First year is 50 and the subsequent years are 40 each. Still right around $200,000.
Yes.
What does it cost to buy one outright?
Initially, it's 15,000 for the two small, and then 12,000 for each vehicle going forward. So on page 297 of the PDF, in the capital table, if you look under the three vehicles, under the Public Works vehicles, there's three, so the annual, the cost for 2026 would the least.
Page 297?
297 of the PDF, yeah. Of the agenda PDF. Did you see this one here?
Yeah. Which row?
So it's bottom of the Public Works section. So the top is police, then Public Works, and then equipment. So it's the last three under the
Right.
Public Works section.
It's highlighted, green text.
Yep,
And then it's like 24,000 for the next 4 years for that
for each,
medium dump truck,
yes.
correct?
So
Yeah.
total of the 5
For the
years
dump
for the dump truck, we're looking at 150.
165,000. This is for 2026.
And so, for example, on that truck, that particular truck, we bought almost the identical truck early this year for about that cost. So what we did was I gave Enterprise the same truck spec from the one we bought this year and said, can you please duplicate it? Because essentially the two trucks that we're replacing, the one we did earlier this year and this one, are identical vehicles. We pursued it accordingly.
Do we own the one
We
that
do.
you just purchased though? And we're leasing these, so we'd have to give them back after 5 years, or do we
No,
keep
we'll
them?
keep them.
Okay, that's,
Or we can sell them and then they'll rotate
Got it.
whatever equity into the next.
okay.
I mean,
So for us in
are
Public
we-
Works, this is our first venture into the leasing
Right,
world.
I guess my question
I
would be,
think of a lease.
are
like
we
a
happy with
car
how it's gone
You have to
in
get
the
it
police
back.
department? We've been doing it for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And I came into it, so it was something that I came into.
You inherited.
And I like it so far, right?
Yeah.
I think the real cost savings will present itself once our whole fleet is leased, which should happen by the end of this year / beginning of next year. And then once we've cycled through them a time or two, so maybe by the end of 2026, beginning of 2027, we should have a really solid idea of how much money it's saved us overall. The nice thing is that we're cycling the cars out every 3 years or so, depending on their algorithm, on when the residual value is at its highest. And when I say they, I mean their price. So we're selling it at its highest value, getting that value back and putting it into a squad car. So long term, we're saving money and we're cycling the cars out while they're still at higher value and better use to us, right?
Yeah.
There's departments that will ride their squad cars over 100,000 miles and they're.
Well, I think
We have done it.
The
Phil?
other issue we're saving on cars maintenance issues, because
Yeah.
when you lease these vehicles, they're under warranty, right? So for a squad car, they're under a full factory warranty for at least a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
So any of our maintenance costs is safe.
And what happens, I mean, we had a squad car that got totaled a couple of years ago. What happens if one of our leased vehicles gets totaled? Is it
Insurance. goes
just
with
the same thing?
place.
Yeah.
So Phil, for these type of dump trucks, right now we own one, right? And this would be our second, so we'll only have 2 in the fleet.
So this,
For the
the medium duty
550.
is a 1 ton, so that's a
Okay.
Ford F-550 class, so this would be our second 1 ton. But we do have we have a 6-wheeler that's 2005 that we're gonna kinda hang on to and evaluate whether we need it or not. But we also have a 4-wheel heavy-duty dump truck, and then we're waiting to take delivery of the second heavy-duty dump truck. And that's been on order for 3 years now, so that's,
Okay. So we're stuck with old equipment when that happens, and if it breaks down, can't hit services. and
well, the
stuff.
good news is with our fleet, with the acquisition, if you will, of these 3 vehicles, our entire fleet will have essentially been turned over in the last 7, 8 years. And
Good.
it was badly needed,
Mhm.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any other questions about equipment or vehicles? No? Okay. Next is our facilities, and we do have right-of-way improvements for 217 Barrington, and that's Mockingbird, for $50,000. And then kayak kiosk for $25,000 that we've been working on this year but haven't quite reached an agreement with our vendor. So Caleb's still working on it. For streets, we do have the pedestrian bridge improvement project, which is a project we are working on with West Dundee, and that is a 50-50 split. And then the amount reflected in your packets are what the Village of East Dundee is responsible for. We do have 2 underground overhead utility projects that we are looking to pursue. Again, 217 Barrington for $310,000, and that's just a continuation of a current project that we are working through. And then engineering for River Street to underground those utilities there. We have been talking extensively about the Van Buren sidewalk for the middle school, and have an updated quote for the cost of engineering services, and that was updated to $54,700. And that project is potentially grant eligible. Any questions so far?
Who's writing that grant?
We've already submitted it, correct?
Well, we're about to, it's
Okay.
due, so the grant is due on October 15th, and Christopher Burke Engineering has helped us write that grant. The good news is they're assisting a number of their other clients with this, and they feel like we have, of all of their grant applications, they feel like we have the strongest.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are they intentionally writing the other ones a little bit?
Let's hope, let's hope.
They tell everyone so.
Yeah.
One unique thing about this project is we're keeping the sidewalk along the west side of Van Buren. So we're gonna start at Roslyn and take it all the way up to the middle school, essentially Cleveland. But there's a small stretch just north of Roslyn where the creek approaches Van Buren close to where we'll need to construct a boardwalk. We can't put in a typical 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk, so it'll be a
I was wondering how
boardwalk.
you were gonna do that.
Pardon?
I was wondering how you were gonna do
Yeah,
that.
we
Yeah.
had to kind of think outside the box a little bit.
Sure.
There was some discussion about crossing Van Buren and then up and then crossing, but it didn't seem to make sense, and for the safety of the children, and just, we don't need to have them crossing more than they need to, so. It does increase cost for this boardwalk concept, but it's, yeah. So we reviewed the application today, and it'll be submitted ideally this week, and fingers crossed. Because we would be eligible for up to $250,000 would be our maximum grant award, so.
Have we quoted the actual project yet even, or no?
The project overall right now, the engineer's estimate, including engineering, design and construction, is about $650,000.
Yeah, is there any way we can get the school district to go in on this? I mean, it's really on their property. I know it's within the Village of East Dundee.
You know what's
We've
interesting?
been waiting a long time, or at least get brownie points for all of the tiffs, that they want to argue about.
It is adjacent to the school property. What's interesting is on the west side of Van Buren, which is actually, I take that back, on the west side of Wilmette, between Van Buren and Cleveland, our right-of-way, or the right-of-way extends about 20 to 25 feet
Into
to the west towards the school.
Oh,
So
okay.
it
It is.
technically falls within our corporate limits.
Mhm.
It's unusual, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, next are our IT projects. We do have a continuation of our Starcom radio lease, and that's for almost $14,000. That project ends in 2028. We are recommending the purchase of 4 new flock cameras, and that's for $15,000. We are potentially eligible to receive a $10,000 grant for that. For studies and plans, we do have our regional truck route study for $30,000, and that project will be split between 2 different funds potentially. And we are recommending the continuation of our bike and ped plan So this $100,000 that we're budgeting for is to finalize the current study and potentially engineer some of the recommendations that result from the study. For the sound stage, we are budgeting $117,500 for design engineering, and we will potentially be also including the construction cost. And right now, the minimum project scope is about 1.6 million. So that's not reflected in here, but will potentially be added during our next budget discussions. As far as beautification, we already talked about the river sculptures, so that is included for 2026, and is a cost split between the village of East Dundee and West Dundee, and the $22,500 is the village's cost. We do anticipate the purchase of, or the acquisition of property along 72, and that is a continuation of the process.
What property are we talking about there? Is it top secret right now?
It is. To be discussed at a later date. But right now, we're budgeting for $100,000 for that. For stormwater, we are anticipating including the Lions Park Stormwater Detention Project. That's been on hold for quite a bit, so we're currently anticipating including that for $610,000. Any questions?
Yeah, the Lions Park Stormwater Detention. Has that been designed?
Yes.
It's gonna be designed this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was always set up for construction next year.
Yes, but I thought that the design was happening since, the beginning of summer up till now. Is it not done?
Not quite done.
But has it been being worked on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the field work's done, the base mat's done. You just don't wanna prepare your specs too far out.
Construction.
Oh, okay. So what's the general idea?
Well, we wanna go out to bid probably in December, so.
But I mean, as far as getting this water out of that area.
Basically going underground. And it's pretty much a huge infiltration
I'm
project.
sorry.
It's pretty much a huge infiltration project where you've got underground storage, kind of like on a smaller scale across the street where the Madison Court is.
Is it like a storm trap then, or something like that?
Just stone, open graded stone. Yeah,
Okay.
storm traps, pretty
Looking-
expensive.
Okay, got it.
Open graded stone. So
Yeah,
we're
so
gonna
you
dig
use-
up the ground, fill it with stone, gravel,
Mhm.
essentially? and
So
then-
you have storage in the gaps, which is about 35% of void space, and then you also want to put that stone on top of the area of soil that can take infiltration, because there's a lot of sand and gravel out there, like across the street where the detention pond is for the small Madison Court development.
Yeah,
That's basically the same design. But this will be on a larger scale.
okay. All right.
Thank you.
During storm events, that area takes the stormwater, it infiltrates into the soil very effectively. So we don't have, across the street where Joe had mentioned, near the Madison Court development, that area drains very well during periods of high rain. If we have a very intense rain event, it'll accumulate, but then it'll drain fairly quickly.
Thank you.
And one last thing on the flock cameras, is that the max that we really need? I felt like last time we needed 5 to get those main access points, but now we need 4 more to get those access points.
Yeah, I'd like to try to catch all the ingress and egress into and out of the city. So right now, we're missing a camera on Van Buren, for example. We're missing a camera on Elgin Ave, headed out into the south, and a couple other locations that would give us coverage, river, downstream water, for example.
Those cut throughs.
Is 4 enough?
For now. Yeah, I wanted to
There's a total of $620,700 of unfunded or unbudgeted new initiatives and capital projects for 26. Those projects are the purchase of a skid steer attachment, concrete grinder, the Illinois 68 and Barrington Avenue crosswalk improvements, Meyer Street extension, Brimer Street and 3rd Street improvement projects, Jackson Street sidewalk improvement project, a tree inventory and management plan, emergency operations plan, and also riverfront improvements.
So, if these are unbudgeted, does that mean that these are all gonna be deferred?
Yes. Unless the board
Yeah.
says otherwise. Any questions? So we'll move into our business development districts. Within we have 3 BDDs and only one has a project associated with it, and that is our downtown and Dundee Crossings BDD. That fund has currently projected ending cash balance of 1.1 million basically. Anticipate 500,000 in revenues and 520,000 in expenses. Of that, 49,500 are related to new initiatives, and that is for lightning detection system. The riverfront sculptures are included. We need to update this. And the regional truck plan, the 50-50 split cost is in here as well.
And the debt service, is that the garage?
That is for the garage, for $611,000. Yes. We do have one unfunded project, and that is for gateway and entry signage, and that's for $90,000. Any questions?
And that's just the design, right, on the signs? The
No.
90,000?
It's the construction and purchase of,
Installation.
yes, and installation.
Um,
And that would be a phased-in project, so that would just be like the first year.
She's got it.
Broke
Phased
down.
in over 3 years.
Okay.
So next we'll get into our TIFs. We have about 8 TIFs now, and of those 8, we have 2 TIFs that have dedicated projects to them. Our downtown TIF, which we love, is currently projected at a negative $3.5 million cash balance, and we anticipate or project revenues for 26 to be $540,000. The expected expenses for next year are $212,000, and right now we don't have any new initiatives for that TIF fund, but we do have transfers from the downtown TIF into the debt service fund, which is the fund we use to pay out all of our bond payments, and that amount includes the 2012 bond, 2016 bond, and also our debt service to our fire district, and that total is $870,875. We do have one unbudgeted project, and two unbudgeted projects. That's for Freeman Park parking on 3rd Street, and also a traffic analysis of the Illinois 72 corridor for $40,000.
So, on that Freeman Park, what happened to us maybe getting that park in East Dundee as an East Dundee park instead of a fireman's park?
Like the village of East Dundee?
Yeah,
To have
yeah.
a park?
I'm looking at Mark's smile over here.
You guys,
It's a long story.
I mean,
So who owns the park?
the firemen's
I know
association.
I've explained this before. It's not owned by the district, it's owned by the association. Caleb was working in with the association, going back to historical documents. Did they receive all those yet?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, me neither.
But we have, so the last couple of months, the reason.
Come on.
Everybody.
So I can't necessarily
That's
speak
on-
to
that's on
the
it.
park in full, but we reached out to the fire district about, we would have to, if this project were to move forward, we enter into IGA. We've had preliminary discussions and both, fire district has expressed an openness and a willingness to do that. They're excited about the project. It would be for a piece of it that would become public right of way to allow for this project.
Right.
So, so this would just be for the initial engineering for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you had any conversations with this association, not with the district, at all?
I have had, not through the association, just through the district. Yeah.
They're very hard to get a hold of, I
Not really when I reached out, see who know. Board meeting, yeah, go to a board meeting, I talked to them about it, no different than you guys. But like I told you, we're working with Caleb on historical documents to see who owns it. There's some speculation on whether it could be sold or not,
feel like.
but, it's,
Yeah, right. That
I
makes
know,
sense.
I know you bring it up a lot, but I can't give you that answer. I'll give you the same answer I gave you the last few
Yeah.
days. I can't
I
answer that
appreciate
question
that.
for you.
Thank you.
So our second TIF that we have budgeted projects in is our North Cook County TIF. And right now we have about 1.6 million projected 2025 ending cash balance, $475,000 for 2026 revenues, and about 1.8 million for expenses for 26. Of that, 1.3 million is for new initiatives, and all three projects are pretty much on Hines Drive. One is for a street and curb reconstruction for $330,000. We are budgeting again for the extension of Hines Drive, and that is a project that we're working on in conjunction with the High Street development. So that just depends on their willingness to move forward. So that's $750,000. And then as part of one of the two projects is the replacement of utility poles, and that is for $220,000. There are no unfunded projects in the Cook County TIF. Any questions on any of those projects? All right, water sewer. So our water sewer projected ending fund balance, cash balance is about $3 million. We are anticipating revenues at 1.3 million, or 7.3 million, for 26. And we are budgeting about 8.1 million for expenses for 26. Of that, for about 5 million are related to new initiatives or capital projects. Those new initiatives include the utility extension project it's a 2-year project for about $3 million. This will be offset by a bond, which will hopefully be repaid by permit fees associated with the data center project.
So that is, that project hasn't been
No,
approved.
no.
Yeah.
But we're including it in hopes that it
Yes.
goes through, just in case. We do have our lead service line replacement at $200,000. Standpipe painting and rehabilitation at $1 million, and this may also be offset by a bond or receiving an IEPA low interest loan. We're in the process of applying for that right now. And then we have the emergency generator for the water treatment plant at $215,000. Other plant improvements, which total about $400,000, close to $400,000. And if you need more insight into that, I will gladly turn it over to Phil to explain. But we also have clarifying reconditioning for $30,000, rebuilding of a centrifuge for $35,000, oxidation ditch replacement for $57,000, and also sewer televising program. Is it a 3-year program? 3-year program. The first year is $175,000.
What is that?
Sewer televising? So what we would do is hire a contractor, televising contractor, and what they would do is they would televise every lineal foot of sanitary sewer in the village. And what they would do is they would develop video logs and then also logs that we would incorporate into GIS, and it essentially establishes, allows us to evaluate the condition of our sanitary sewer system. We started what's called an I&I study, inflow and infiltration study, several years ago, and what that does, the idea is to focus here on the flats in downtown. We have a decent amount of stormwater that's finding its way into our sanitary sewer system, which we don't want. In a perfect world, these are two completely separate systems, but in our town and many towns, most towns, and particularly in older parts of communities, when you have aged storm or sanitary sewer systems, stormwater finds its way in, and the idea is to try to keep it out. And this will help us. This is kind of the next step in an ongoing I&I study to improve our sanitary sewer system village-wide. We do have a camera, but it's really more for just troubleshooting purposes. So if we get a call, there's a blockage or a potential issue with either the storm or a sanitary sewer system, we would deploy that camera. But this is a far more comprehensive evaluation.
Sewer only, not water.
Pardon?
It's sewer only, not water.
Correct. Yeah. Water systems are not typically, water mains are not typically televised.
So the purpose, big picture, 30,000 foot purpose is when the sewer systems crack or whatever, the stormwater goes in, then it overburdens the water treatment plant with more inflow and gallons, and you want in there. You basically want to keep it pretty much just sewer.
This is 175,000 per year over the next 3 years.
First year is 175, and then we're estimating 125 for each of the subsequent 2 years. And it's really I feel like it's a critically important program for us because we have different neighborhoods in the village, and certainly the sanitary sewer system that's here in the downtown and the flats area. They're old clay tiles in many cases, and they're very porous. They're allowing too much stormwater into the system. At our treatment plant, we typically, on a dry weather, we'll call it dry weather flows, when it's not in a rainy situation, we're treating about 1 million gallons per day. During a period of heavy rain, that could get up to 2, perhaps even 3 million, depending upon how much rain we get. So there's a substantial increase in how much water we treat. We're essentially treating rainwater unnecessarily.
How would we fix that?
So we are,
That's the next question.
there's point repairs, so we would excavate down and replace a section of pipe. We're looking at manhole rehabilitation. There's sewer lining, which the village has lined some of its sewers in the past. So there's different maintenance and improvement programs that we would look at for, depending upon the situation and circumstance. But having these logs available to us, and it would also document, televised between 2 manholes, it would record lateral connections from homes and businesses. So we would have a nice record of, if someone says, well, I've got an issue with my sanitary line, where does it tie into the village's main? We wouldn't have to deploy a camera. We would already have those records available to us, and that would be helpful to some of our residents and businesses if they needed that information as well.
Can I ask you, under the unbudgeted items, there is $106,000 for the Illinois 68 water tower painting. And I know it costs a lot more than that to paint a water tower, so I'm wondering, what is that 106 for?
That's just the design engineering. So we would propose on page 246 of the PDF, 106 would be the design engineering. In 2026, although it was deferred, proposed to be deferred, and then in the following year, 2027, would be construction, which would be the $884,000.
What page was that?
246 of the PDF.
The last time it was 7 something.
Mhm.
It was 700 something. Different sheet.
So, yeah, the 106 would be the engineering, design engineering for that, developing the bid specs. And that's there's a little bit of a complex situation there. That tower houses AT&T and Verizon, so we would have to temporarily locate those off the tower while we paint and rehabilitate the tower itself. So there's a little bit to that process. And then we would want our engineering consultant to evaluate, once they take their equipment off and the tower's rehabilitated, we want to make sure that when they reinstall, they install according to our standards and specifications, and they do it the right way, essentially.
So if this is deferred
It's next
to
year, right?
27, the design portion, does that mean that the actual work is gonna be deferred to 28, or can it all be done in 1 year?
The temporary relocation of the cell equipment would be a process.
Yeah,
That's not,
so it would most likely be deferred.
it would most likely be, that would be a collaborative effort to work with both cell companies to,
Yeah, this has been something that's been deferred for quite a few years.
it has been, I believe this tower's been, I know it was inspected once in the last 6-7 years, and possibly twice.
I think it was 2023,
Yeah,
and
I'd have to
then
look
like
at-
90-something or whatever.
could be.
Yeah.
Being that it needs rehabilitation and hasn't been inspected right away, it needs rehabilitation, is deferring it gonna be an issue with what needs to be repaired on it? I know, it's like if it's been deferred that much and do we need
It
to get
does
it
need to be-
inspected again to check?
We can certainly do that and update the,
That would be part of the design portion,
Mhm.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
so when it was evaluated recently, they developed a comprehensive, they took photographs and developed a comprehensive evaluation of the structure. And they identified a list of improvements in addition to the repainting. So we would want to revisit those, and they would confirm and see if there's anything new that has developed since the last evaluation. And then evaluate each of the items that has already been noticed, identified as needing improvement or rehabilitation. So.
I just wanna keep that one on the radar.
Yeah.
That's a big deal
It's
if
getting
it
pretty
needs
rotten.
Well, I
to
thought
be.
that that was part of this bond that we were supposed to get for the water.
Well, or the IEPA loans, yeah, the loan process. So we developed, we submitted a project plan to the IEPA, and it was essentially, we identified, I think, 5 or 6 projects, and we said, okay, we, East Dundee, are going to be pursuing loan funding for these 5 projects. Doesn't mean we'll be selected for funding. For example, the standpipe was not selected for funding this year. Our project was put into their pool of statewide requests, and we ranked, I want to say 200-300 projects, and we were very much in the middle. So the idea is, Baxter Woodman is now designing the specs, and we'll go out to bid and get us in a better position so that we're in a shovel-ready, if you will, position, so that the state will recognize us. We're ready to go if you will select us for funding.
Okay.
So we do have about 1.4 million of unbudgeted new initiatives for the water sewer fund. The others include First Street main improvement, water main improvement, wastewater treatment plant improvements for $623,000. The study of the wastewater treatment plant facility plan study, that's $105,000. An emergency generator for our lift stations at $95,000. Spare pumps for 2 of our lift stations at $50,000, and also sanitary manhole lining and rehabilitation for $20,000. Do you have any other questions about the unbudgeted projects? As mentioned before, our water sewer fund does have a $50,000 contingency, and that's to cover any unexpected costs for repairs or equipment failures. And that is all for me. Any questions?
So if anything's unfunded in here, it's done for a year.
Potentially, yes, unless the board recommends that we include for budget.
Dig deeper and
Okay.
figure out some funding source.
Right. So, okay.
Or take away one of the ones that are.
Yes.
I can
And-
say I'm most likely going to recommend the water tower design to continue for this year.
Okay.
That's
I
from
feel
me.
from like a village viewpoint, like driving into our town, it'd be nice to have that, not even from like, just like the maintenance standpoint. It needs to be painted. It needs to be addressed, so.
Phil, are there pictures of that water tower on here?
I don't,
It's pretty
I think
rough.
there might have been.
It's pretty rusty.
Added one back.
It's
I
modern
put it on my
town.
phone, but I don't know.
Can
I
I
mean,
see?
you should
thought
find
there-
maybe, Phil.
No, there
that
were two
report-
pictures in
last
there.
report that was done. Maybe you should find that last report that was done.
The inspection?
Not now, but,
Mhm.
you know.
I know it was done in
I don't know if it transferred over.
2018, I'm almost positive it was 18. And I
It's
know
capital.
between the
Yeah, it
same
doesn't
type,
come
I
out.
think it's been evaluated twice. And I'm pretty sure one of the elevator tanks was evaluated twice.
Yeah, that's that
Here.
standpipe.
Here you go. Page 261.
261.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, right there.
Cool. Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
Ah, yes, there it is.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
pretty
so
rough.
it should be in here.
It's really rusty.
So yeah, so this tank was evaluated twice, in 18 and 23. 2018 and 2023. And the exterior was evaluated to be in poor condition, the dry interior fair, and the wet interior fair.
Those are not, that's not good.
No.
Doesn't sound good. Pouring, fair.
Well,
And so the wet interior is the bowl that contains potable water. The dry interior is the balance of the interior.
When they maintain that, do they do the, I mean, they actually do the inside of that wet portion?
Redrain it,
Yep.
strain, sandblast it, or
Recoated.
they used to remove the interior finish and then recoat it.
they had to do that to the one on 25, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Trish, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
We
it's,
can bump that up. Because if we put this in the budget for 26, we're still looking at
27
27
for,
before we do anything with it. So.
yes.
and with it rusting, it's probably only gonna cost more and more every year,
That was,
so.
yeah, I just said that. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be more expensive. if
Yeah.
we wait.
Okay.
There's things that I'd like to see, but that is probably most important at this point. So.
Okay.
So
Any
do we need to
other,
pull something off of the budget here,
I have a little bit of time. I can finagle some numbers and see where we are.
Let her work some magic.
And then
Brandis is gonna work some
or
magic.
we'll start there?
Sounds good.
Any other changes or considerations?
Now we're gonna discuss more in the
Yes.
following meeting.
So
So if something comes
not
up-
at the October 20th meeting. At the November 3rd meeting, we
Okay.
do plan to bring the entire budget to you all as a final workshop and the public hearing. And then the meeting after that, the second meeting in November, will be presented for approval.
And then just because something's budgeted doesn't mean we're approving it, correct?
Depending on the project cost, we will still have to present the contract and proposal to the board for approval.
Okay.
And that's if it's over 25,000?
Yes. between now and November 3rd, feel free to reach out to me about
Absolutely.
any projects. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention for water sewer, we did have a rate study plan done last year. We are working with Baxter and Woodman to do an update of the study and to present at the November 3rd meeting.
That's gonna be a big meeting.
So we will also potentially discuss increasing water sewer rates to offset some of these projects. Thank you.
Anything else, or are we ready to move on to the next
Move on.
subject?
Move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
everybody.
Brandis.
Thank you.
So now we're gonna just discuss 406 and 408 Barrington Avenue. Do you have a intro on that, or?
Just looking for board direction on the planned rezoning and listing with our realtor in town of this for residential use. As a background, this used to be the water pump station, and in 2022, the board passed a resolution to demolish it. There have been a few attempts before the board to have this redeveloped, but as of now, it's vacant village-owned land that we are seeking to list and get off of our books.
So, if we were to do this, I mean, well, I guess, you know, what I would say is we should at least explore the possibility of making this some sort of park. And maybe it's half of it is a parking lot that can be used for downtown parking as well. And the other half is like a park, dog park maybe.
Dog park.
Something to that
A
extent.
what?
Dog park.
But if we do want to make it, just sell it for residential, I guess my question would be, is there a mechanism we can use to prevent it from being purchased by, like, if we wanted to split it up into 3 lots, to prevent it from one person buying all 3 and putting a giant apartment building on it?
I don't think anyone liked that idea.
They'd still have to go through zoning.
Yeah.
They'd still have to get permission through zoning.
Yeah.
So one of the things, that I do like the proposal that you have here, because right now it's 3 different lots. 2 of them are in R2, 1 is in R3. So it's really problematic. So is your proposal to do the rezoning so that it's one big parcel that, or one parcel that would then be one zoning to simplify the sale?
It would just be rezoned, the 3 pins would be rezoned to R4.
Yeah.
And then the developer, based on how they want, or the owner, based on how they want to build anything there, can then subdivide those 3 pins how they see fit.
So it's adjacent to R2 and R3, so where's the thought process in making it R4?
It would be near the downtown, and the
Mhm.
comp plan does cite more affordable housing, more, not affordable housing, but more attainable housing of all demographics that would want to move closer to the business district than the downtown. So by citing the comp plan of having it in a more high-dense R4 zoning near the downtown makes a lot more sense, just like with the lumberyard redevelopment.
And I think last time we looked at this, as I recall, some of the adjacent properties to it, at least the ones that are on Van Buren, while they are in R2 or R3, they are rentals. They have multiple units within each.
There are some existing legal nonconformings that are more than one unit on the R2 or R3 nearby.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my concern rezoning it first before we have a project is like if we had the project, we could tell if it was a scale that fit the neighborhood as opposed to it's already zoned. What is the limit on R4 as far as density? Is it low enough that they would have to come to us if they wanted to go higher density than a certain amount? Because it is, I think the last time we had the whole neighborhood in here very upset with the, was it 20-ish units going in that spot?
4, I believe.
24. So, like,
Yeah.
setting it up to go
Yeah,
ahead of
it's
time would be upsetting to the neighbors if they wanted something at a smaller scale. So I wouldn't want to zone it to something a larger scale than what the neighborhood
The listing
fits.
could put, 6 townhomes or duplexes as what we prefer to see here.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable amount.
Right.
I think as long as it's somehow limited to that.
I mean, the packet says,
Townhome, single family, right?
what did I see there?
I know, I saw it too.
It says the property has generated interest from residents who wish to build
There you go.
townhomes on the site.
From residents. To me, that sounds like what we're talking about is like somebody who wants to build a single family home on this lot. Like, what do we mean by residents? Like, what are we saying here?
I believe there's a few interested parties here that are residents that build homes and townhomes that want to buy
I
this.
see.
Build
Developers.
townhomes.
Not residents, developers.
I believe one might be a resident.
Okay. Well, what if we did want it for single-family homes and we wanted to divide it into 3 lots and say, here's 3 lots? How then, and we put them up for sale, you're gonna get 20 people that wanna buy those 3 lots. How would we decide who would get those lots?
Market. That's why
Market
we're listing it with a
dictates.
realtor.
You have a listing, you'll have a listing agent.
We have a listing, and then 20 people say, I wanna buy it. How do
Oh.
we decide who the one person is?
The broker takes the
How-
offers, the broker takes the offers in order typically and brings them to the village.
Yeah, and then we just pick one based on whatever,
You know, if it's,
Um,
if multiple offers come in at the exact same time, then yeah, the board will have to.
Just like how we
Do people offer more
evaluated
than?
sorry. It's just like how we
Listing price?
evaluated commercial space offers.
yeah.
And often the realtor will come back or say highest and best if there's multiple offers on something.
I mean, I guess I feel like if they're single-family lots, whereas we got 3 offers on the parking garage, we will get 20 offers on the single-family lots.
Yes.
Because that's just the residential market right now. And I'm just, again, I don't know how we would say, how do we pick one person? Would it be?
We don't.
What's that?
It's the highest price.
Yeah.
Literally the highest bidder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would cancel out the idea of making this an easily affordable lot, then it's gonna become an extremely expensive lot. Okay.
But it will help fund the water tower that we need.
Mhm.
Indeed.
So we have a valuable plot of land and we need some money.
And the standpipe that's kind of
Agreed.
directly across the street.
I mean, you look at it like you're just selling a house, and it's an offer on a house, except there's no house there yet. So it's the realtor negotiates
Yeah,
that
so we'd
and
come
does-
back with a resolution, an agreement with Patrick West off of River Street and his recommendation of what the price would be, and then you could take that price recommendation, or you could craft the board's own listing price you'd like to see.
But he's looking at trying to do this as one parcel, do you think?
What is only one parcel right now? It hasn't been divided.
It's 3 pins.
It's
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 three.
one parcel, 3
It's
pins.
3 pins. So,
Yeah.
it's just.
I don't think one of the pins is actually even buildable. It's
Right.
not, that little wedge in the center
Right, we would
isn't even
have to,
buildable.
we would almost have to, change it to 1 pin, and then if we wanted to divide it, and then after it's
Then
1 pin,
re-subdivide
divide
it.
it into 3 pins. Right? I mean,
Or 2.
would that be the way to do that?
It's one way.
three together. But you just couldn't sell to
3 or 4 individuals because.
Right.
we didn't have some.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying though, we could, if we made it into one and then divided into 3 equal, rather than,
Or you wouldn't have to do that first step. Those 3 pens can all be sold to one.
But I think what he's saying is
Right.
we'd like the ability to sell to 3 different individuals as single lots instead of
So then
selling
we
to,
would have to do a plat of subdivision to
Right.
create those lots.
instead of selling to one person and then letting
Yeah.
them do whatever they want to
Like-
do with it.
I guess my thought is,
But it could still be one developer could buy all 3 lots.
One
And
could.
then
it could
apply
be,
to-
Right.
it could be, but we would have to say on
Yeah, so there's, you know, that's where we're looking for the board and direction, how you want to do this first. The planning and zoning can come now, it can come after a buyer, it's just, we want to list it, you know, how do you want to see it listed, really?
I would like to see it listed separately.
Yeah, I like the idea of 3 different buyers, so we don't get 3
Yep.
cookie cutter houses that, I'd like 3 different people to make their home, ideally, so making it as 3.
Well, we would have to do a plat of subdivision then,
Yeah.
which is involved.
So then it does have to go to zoning first.
And and then, sounds like, single family zoning is what you're looking for?
that.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I
that's what
think
the
just-
residents around there
Okay.
wanted too, when they
That's fine.
spoke up.
Sure.
So it'd be like R3, I think,
Yeah,
based on the size
yeah.
of this, just.
Well, we would have to see,
We have
exactly.
to see
Yeah.
how many we could.
Right,
fit on
I
it.
mean, that's just designer
Plus with
math,
the top-
pictures.
That was top box.
Can we put a stipulation in that they have to build or start building within 1 year? I mean, I don't want to see somebody buy these and then just sit on them as an investment for 10 years.
Yeah, it would be nice if, I don't know if that's possible, but I
We
don't
would
know.
probably have to record a restriction
Deed restriction?
on a restrictive covenant on the
Yes.
property.
It's a good idea
Which
though.
makes
A
it
restrictive
much less
covenant?
attractive.
Well,
Would it be
someone-
possible to, in that restrictive covenant, to say whoever buys this lot has to live on the lot?
Yes.
That's a little too restrictive, I think. I think as long as somebody
Well,
builds
because
something here.
I think the idea would be to actually create a homeowner rather than a renter, is my thought.
But I think with our vision of allowing multiple types of individuals to live in Dundee, it would be better to have the option if someone wants to buy it and live there, fine, but if someone wants to buy it and rent it, maybe someone that can't purchase can live here, so that it opens up to more demographic.
I like that idea.
Fair enough. I just, yeah.
I'm with you on that, Tricia.
Yeah, actually, really good way on that one.
Okay.
So it sounds like, subdividing, rezoning, and then listing.
With a restriction or no
Are we doing
restriction?
a restriction or
Well,
not?
that can be determined at a future date. I mean,
It might deter buyers.
Yeah,
again,
Yeah,
We
we
can
only
figure
want to
it out.
deter, buy, hold, and leave it as a gravel lot for 20 years,
Right.
sort of.
That's what I don't want to see.
you
I
know,
agree
I'd
with
like
that
a
one.
home to get built there,
Yeah,
you
so
know,
not
within
too
a year.
restrictive, but yeah, some kind of
Yeah.
restriction.
Okay. All right.
Madam Chair,
You have enough?
Yeah.
Madam Chair, might we take a 5-minute break? I apologize, but.
Absolutely. Let's adjourn for 5 minutes and re-adjourn at 8:15. It is 8:18.
pulling up some laws here.
All right, and the next item on the agenda is the motion to approve an ordinance amending section 12306 of the Village Code regarding video gaming regulations. And Caitlin has some additional.
Kelly.
Kelly.
Kelly, Kelsey, Caitlin,
Oh
it's
my
not your
gosh.
fault. No, we
yes.
designed it that way at All Rock
I know,
Friedman.
just to confuse me. Additional information that came in right before the meeting.
Thank you,
on this.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Kelly Gandersky, Village Attorney. We have on the agenda tonight an ordinance that amends how the VGT fees are split. I think we all had that discussion last time. It was an exhaustive discussion. And the controversy is whether or not the fees should be equally split amongst operator and business owner, or whether East Dundee can make that an unequal split, okay? And so the thought behind it is I don't think there's any controversy in raising the fee at all. I think that was pretty well settled. So the reason why there's concern over the unequal split is this language I've pulled up right now. This is the Video Gaming Act, the State Video Gaming Act. And as you can see, it has some tricky language in there that says the cost of any fee imposed under this act by any home rule unit of government or non-home rule shall be shared equally between the terminal operator and the applicable licensed establishment. Okay, so at first glance, you would take that to mean, well, we have to make this an equal split, except you are a home rule municipality. And so there was a case that came out within the last year called Camacho versus City of Joliet, where it states that unless there's particular language preempting home rule authority, then regardless of how the statute reads, with language geared toward that effect, unless it has what I call the magic words, it doesn't count. So what do the magic words look like? The magic words look more like this. This section here, let me pull it up. And I'm doing this just so that we all understand what we're doing here today. This is part of the act. Oops. Oh, man.
Stupid internet.
Is it the internet in here or is it me?
Might be the state.
It looks like the state.
All right.
Dot
Okay.
gov.
Well, anyway, the language in the act that I'm talking about is it'll say this section is a denial and limitation of home rule powers and functions under subsection whatever G of section 6 of Article 7 of the Illinois Constitution. I do not see that language in the section that we are talking about. So the Camacho case would suggest that it's not preempted. However, this is a gray area as the law is, right? The law, that's why we call it the practice of law and not the perfection of law. So about 3 seconds before we started this meeting, I received an email indicating that another legal opinion that disagreed with our position. Now, I don't have a time to analyze that. Obviously, 3 seconds before our meeting starts, if the board would like me to look into that opinion a little bit more from another law firm, I'm happy to do that. But I'm also comfortable that with regard to this section that we're talking about today, that East Dundee is not preempted based on the research that we've done. But that said, I felt it important to let the board know that there is a differing legal opinion out there.
And that's just to not have the 50-50.
Right. And so the other thought behind it is too, we can't stop, if there's an operator and a business owner that has a separate legal agreement between themselves that says no matter what happens, we'll always require the 50-50 split, then regardless of what the ordinance says, if the ordinance is only going to charge the business $250 and the remaining $750, is it, to the operator, they may have an agreement amongst themselves that says, hey, I don't care what East Dundee's ordinance says, it's 50-50.
So the original ordinance you had up there before?
That's the state statute. Yep,
Okay.
there it is. Yes. Oh, that's okay. I think this is the language that we're talking about right now.
So the only thing in dispute right now is that 50-50.
That appears to be the controversial topic, yes.
But the amounts are not in dispute.
No, there doesn't seem to be a question that the fee can be raised.
Okay.
So the question that you have for the board is we can either pass this as it is, and then if there is a dispute that comes up, we'll deal with it and change the ordinance later. Or we hold till another time and Kelly can do some more due diligence and.
I could contact the law firm that rendered an opinion and say I'm interested to see why. There wasn't any legal analysis offered other than that's just, they were pointing to this language. So perhaps they might agree with us, perhaps they might have other analysis that I'm unaware of.
And so this would be time sensitive because it starts at the beginning of the calendar year, but we might have another couple meetings before we have to get the increase done because it starts January 1st.
Yeah.
Remind me, sorry.
Go ahead.
Remind me, there's three parts here. You have the municipality, you have, what is the term they use for the vendor?
The operator,
The operator, terminal operator, and then we have the business.
right.
So with the same thing being said, there could be an agreement with that terminal operator and the business that says, all right, it's gone up to this number. We'll give you that money back. We want to keep your games in your bar, right?
illegal, that's called an inducement.
Okay. So you couldn't do that.
But what I'm
Okay.
saying is, regardless of what we do here today, let's say
Mhm.
let's say the board passes this ordinance as amended, the operator can say, hey, business, I know that East Dundee's ordinance only says 250, but guess what? You and I have a legal agreement amongst ourselves that you need to split that 50-50. So your share is gonna be 500, not 250.
So
And
they could do that, but
there
it
would be
couldn't be
nothing we could
reversed.
really do about that.
But it couldn't be reversed. Because it'd be the inducement then, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Terminal operator
You're-
could not pay any more than 50%.
Got it.
Is that common, that that's done? Do we know, that separate agreement? Do we
It's
have
not, well,
any-
it's not common that I'm aware of that any municipality has done a split like this. So that's, I think, where it's very new, and this idea is very new.
Got it.
But, that doesn't mean it's bad law, it just means that it's not something that's been, it's not a road that's been traversed.
Yeah, I don't want to
Blazing
be
new
in the gray.
trail.
Sounds about right.
Blazing a new trail on this.
Oh, boy.
So again, I felt it important to let the board know.
So, how do we want to let Kelly just do some more work on this, or, and if we put it on the agenda for the 20th, potentially, do you think we could do the work that needed to be done
Oh,
to
yeah.
become more comfortable? But we'd also want, I guess, the question would be, is if we increase, we plan on increasing it 1,000, does that change your position if it has to go back to 50/50?
That's the
on
question,
The
yeah.
increase.
So, I guess for me it does, yeah.
It does for me.
And, I guess the alternative, maybe, we could just say, instead of increasing to 1,000, we increase to, so right now they're paying 250, so maybe we increase to 350, so it's 700. And then we're not putting a huge increase on our bar owners, and we are getting an extra $200 or whatever. I don't know, that's another thought.
We could rather do one increase instead of two rapid fire increases. So lean towards looking into it first and then deciding on it.
I'm good with that.
Again, I just want to be clear, I think we're on solid ground to pass this ordinance if you wanted to tonight, but I wanted to let you know about the legal opinion that was sent to me before the meeting started.
And that was the opposing.
It is not it's a different law firm, and it was just again reiterated this language saying, I don't believe the split can be 50/50.
But it's already language you were aware of and looked
Or,
into.
we've already looked into it, we're comfortable, but
This other law firm, who solicited this opinion? Did they just do this out of their own accord? They just heard about this and thought they should let us know?
I believe, okay, so the
I can
gaming
say, right?
the gaming operators have a very, very robust lobbying and legal interest in keeping as much of the profits that they possibly can. So it doesn't surprise me that something like this would come up, in my opinion.
Scott, to answer your question, I'm the one who asked for the opinion,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
And the reason I did was to not I feel like our local businesses are the ones that are gonna get hurt, not the terminal operators.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
that's all I
the
wanted to share.
direction-
Yeah.
The direction is to wait then?
Well, we haven't made this motion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Do we
I
want to
guess,
put a
yeah.
motion on the table, or do we want to defer it to this, to the 20th?
Do we have to make the motion to postpone it, or can we just postpone without making the motion?
Just postpone it.
Well, if you don't make a motion, then it's
It
not back
dies.
on the agenda unless the village administrator or the president puts it back on. I would postpone it if you want time to consider.
Yeah, I want to postpone, but also part of what you're looking into, if you could tell us if there's ways to protect the businesses from, like, is there any way that we can enforce that if the business is supposed to pay this amount, would the operators be sending us a separate check, and that we could require that that's enforced, or is there no?
We can look into
enforcement?
that question too.
That's
Um,
a really good question.
Cause yeah, that would be helpful.
Oh,
Do you want us to say postpone it to like the 3rd of November meeting?
Whatever you all
Yeah.
think is.
How do you want me to phrase that?
I mean, this should be a fairly quick turnaround.
so the 20th or the 3rd.
Well, the 20th is going to be a pretty robust meeting, I think.
Yes, it is.
So,
You are correct.
yeah, I don't want it on there. So.
So if someone wants to make a motion to postpone this until the date certain of November 3rd,
That would be
that would be the correct.
All right, I'll make the motion to postpone it till the November 3rd meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, trustee Guma?
What would I say?
I thought you were accusing yourself.
I am, yeah, I'm recusing myself.
Okay. Trustee Sauter?
Yes.
Trustee Saviano?
Yes.
Trustee Kunzi?
Yes.
Trustee Oakland?
Yes.
Pro Tem Mahoney?
Yes. Alrighty, then we move to board reports. Let's start with Andy. We'll go around the table.
No report.
Attended the Northern Keene Chamber of Commerce award ceremony on Saturday. So congratulations to our Business of the Year, Michael Hassebring from State Farm in East Dundee. He won that. And congratulations to Eastside Cafe for winning the Customer Service Award. So East Dundee was well represented. And then Lindy Setsuranos, I think I said it
Yes, you did
correctly.
great. You did
Got
great.
our
She
Community
learned.
Service Award. So I presented that, and Kathleen Mahoney was there with me. So I just wanted to say that. Also, just a quick random question. When we regraded the sidewalk by River Street Tavern, there was a garbage can there at one point. And there isn't now, and I'm just curious if one was gonna be replaced there, because I know there are cans over by the depot, but I don't see any on that side. So,
We recently put one, not in front of the dentist, kind of more towards the south end, right in front of the parking garage. In front of the retail space, so right out, put a little alley
Okay.
kind of between the
Yeah.
dentist. So right out front there's a street, there's an island that kind of sticks out on the street light. We did put one there about 2 weeks ago.
okay.
On the
That's
block, there is one
in the
in
block, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't know. I just remember the one that was always right out there
Yeah.
by River Street, so I was just curious. So, okay. And no report beyond that.
Scott?
Phil, there's a 3-foot diameter hole in our fence on the south side. Not at the wall this time, on the other side of that same section. Just a hole cut out with wire cutters. Yeah.
Good times.
The gift that keeps on giving.
We had the contractor come out after they cut open the corner and asked them to reattach it, to repair that
They
corner.
did do
and
that.
They put in some barbed
They
wire.
put some barbed wire there. They did
So
do
they
that
just
too.
cut open the next
But
section. That was $1,000.
They just went over 5 feet and cut a big 3-foot diameter hole in there. And,
We talked to people, Freddie.
I mean, pretty sure there's an unlimited supply of people you can catch, it seems.
What's left to take inside of that building?
I mean, apparently something. They're working hard.
Hope springs eternal.
They might demo that building before we even figure out what we're gonna do with it.
We could only wish.
Anyways, we should,
Trying to
I guess,
figure out
pass
what to
that
do
whole,
with that.
yeah, I don't know. Short of electrifying the fence.
So there are cameras up. We talked about putting cameras up. There are
We haven't
cameras up.
gotten
Yeah,
that, no.
not yet?
The bids are, they're
Oh, really? I didn't see it in the budget conversation.
That's
Um,
probably why.
Just budget for someone to sit on my front porch and just keep an eye out. I mean, that'll work.
You see,
Yeah.
There you go.
Electrocute, yeah.
Or yours.
Not in my front yard.
The electric fence.
Anything else, Scott?
No, that was all.
Bronco. I know we're gonna go out of order because I'm just getting wild here.
I'm just announcing that this Wednesday, the local liquor control commission has been canceled, and a special meeting, I believe October 29th, will be held for a training for the new liquor commissioners.
Okay.
Who is that?
I'm sorry?
Who are the new liquor commissioners?
President Pearson and Trustee Oakwood.
Matt?
So I just want to thank staff and specifically Phil, as we're doing this MetroNet thing in the community. They've done some pretty extensive work in my neighborhood, and some of it has not turned out very well for the residents. So I made a couple calls, and it's funny, when I go talk to them, they're like, whatever, who cares? Phil calls them, and all of a sudden the guy's got sod in his yard, and it looks beautiful again. And we got a happy neighbor, and at the end of the street, they're boring a tunnel under the river. It's not going very well for them, and they broke the neighbor's sewage pipe, like with the machine. And they were going back and forth and made the call, and Phil was able to get them to come out and fix it right away. So I appreciate that, you know, because the neighbors definitely appreciate it. So that was it. So, that's it. That's all I got. Yep.
No report?
No report?
Me.
Too many Caleb's, Kelly, Kelsey, Caitlin.
Trevor. Caleb. Joe. Chief. I don't want to hear anything more.
Brandon's
Sorry,
done.
no, I'm kidding. Phil?
No report.
All right. My report is I want to really thank the Public Works Department and everything that they've done over the summer with all of the events. Oktoberfest was amazing. I know it was a ton of work, and congratulations to Catherine and the team that she and volunteers that she puts together, and the great response and feedback that we got from some of the people that were hired for the event. We can take the shorts off the skeleton anytime they are available. The lederhosen, and the hat, and that can go into storage for the next year. Also, having attended the Kane County Awards Dinner, Chamber of Commerce, what was really interesting to me and what I kept hearing over and over again from people from other villages that we met throughout the night, they love what's happening in East Dundee. We are doing things right. Let's keep going with that. The impression that is being made is substantial. And also Sleepy Hollow, we met with the new mayor there. She wants to try and do and coordinate more. I guess she's got a group of people that meets monthly. Are you part of that? No? But
Yeah,
you are.
You are. Yeah,
You are.
That's what she said.
And
Who is?
Scott.
is. And just fostering the communication and the cooperation between all of the villages is something that's new and fresh and exciting and much needed. You know, with the boards, not just with the police departments that are already doing it as, you know, their basic practice. So I wanted to thank people that way. And thanks for putting up with me this evening.
If I could add to my report, Oktoberfest was amazing.
Right?
Like,
Awesome.
best ever, for sure.
Right.
Having the second lawn is such a huge addition. Well done to everybody that took
Big
part in that.
changes,
So,
big changes, and, you know, honestly, that was staff do your thing, and they came back with amazing, amazing ideas with Lexus and the touch-a-truck and the inflatables and things like that, so, love what everybody is doing.
And, I mean, it was a summer fest with that weather. I mean,
Yes, exactly.
perfect,
Very
wow.
Very, very lucky. I will entertain, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.